Hey guys, it's Daniel and this is my 6th video for Trans Guys Ireland, and we're on the topic of how do you manage dysphoria. And I guess the first thing I want to say is dysphoria is completely unique, so I don't want anybody to feel they're not trans enough or they're weird or whatever just because they experience something different to what I do. You know, some people don't experience dysphoria at all, and frankly you're so lucky and I wish I was you. You know, so if somebody doesn't experience something, it's totally fine, and if they do experience something, it's totally fine, you know. So our topic on dysphoria doesn't define anybody, we're just sharing our experiences, and maybe other people can relate and find something that works for them, or just to have the knowledge, I guess, you know. So first of all, I guess one of the things that causes me dysphoria a lot is my voice. It's the only thing that stops me from passing 100% of the time, because I don't have a typically male Irish voice. There's not a lot I can do to help that at the moment, except there apparently are some exercises you can do to get your voice to drop a bit, so I'm going to have a look into that. But pre-T, that's all I can really do right now. I can get my voice to drop like for shorter periods of time, for short questions or whatever, but nothing excessive. Most of the time I remember, but sometimes I do forget in public that I'm not in a trans accepting environment. So I forget that my voice might throw people or whatever. But most of the time I tend to remember and just try and keep public discussions to a minimum. I'm around strangers, I guess, and people who don't know I'm trans. But yeah, I guess voice, it sucks that I can't always pass with it, but nothing I can do really. But yeah, it causes dysphoria, but it's one of those things you just have to deal with, really. Chest dysphoria, I'm one of those guys that get it pretty much all the time. It's crippling at stages, I'm not gonna deny that, it's horrible. Chest dysphoria, the things I can recommend anybody to do is get a good binder. I have a great binder now. It pretty much gets me as flat as I can go without surgery. So I use that pretty much all the time now. Yeah, actually, I do use it all the time now. I don't use my old binder at all. It's just there as a standby in case I need it. I recommend that you do look after yourself while you bind, though. Like, I am guilty of excessive binding quite often. Sometimes I can't help it, and sometimes I just don't not want to bind. One of those guys who wakes up in the morning and I get up and I bind and then I go to the toilet. I'm one of those. Binding is pretty much a constant thing for me. So yeah, but do look after yourself, because like I check myself regularly. I get my doctor to check me regularly. If you get dry skin, moisturize. Also, what I found is great for helping with binding is talcum powder. After your shower, dry yourself off and talc pretty much your chest area. It just dries you out properly and everything, makes you nice and smooth. Binder goes on nice and easy. So I've found that helps with binding and everything, and the easier I guess your binder is to get on, the more comfortable you are, the less agitated, less likely it is for your dysphoria to spike, that kind of thing. So all these little other things that you think, oh, that's not really going to help with my dysphoria, it actually does. As if you can make your binding easy for you, then do it, without it being dangerous, obviously. I get lower dysphoria. It's one of those ones that have grown quite a bit. Like at first it was just triggered by Shark Week, but now it can just, come out of everywhere. I feel that with sexual urges it can sometimes be increased quite a bit, but I manage it. I pack from time to time. I only have a hard packer at the moment, so it can be a little awkward in public, so I tend not to. Because then at times it can look like you have a boner all the time, and then people think you're a pervert, and that's never a good thing. Yeah, so I've ordered packers online, so hopefully they'll be here soon enough, and then I'll be able to pack, pretty much all the time, and I think that'll help a lot for me anyway. And I guess going on tea will also help. Yeah, that's gonna help my voice, it's gonna help my chest, it's gonna help downstairs quite a bit too. So yeah, I guess it seems like tea is the answer, but I know it's not the answer to all questions. I know it's not gonna fix everything, so I do have that realistic view. One thing that really helps with my dysphoria is being aware of perspective. Perspective changes all the time. Something can feel really shit and you feel awful or whatever, but it's not the end. It's not always going to stay like that. It will flux, it will calm down, it'll go up, it'll go down, it'll go all over the place. Things change constantly. That's life, and your feelings are constantly changing and everything. So, be aware of that, even if it's really hard. Like, you're sitting there and you're feeling like shit, but, when you tell yourself it's not always gonna be like this, it won't. It will change in one way or another, So I'm not telling people to just shut up and deal with it. I'm just asking people to be aware of change, and there are things that can help things change for the better. Hopefully. Sometimes things do get worse, but I really hope that I'm not gonna suggest things to people that might increase dysphoria, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so I'm not telling people to just suck it up kind of thing. I don't know where that last bit went. But yeah, I'm not telling people to suck it up. I'm just asking you to be aware of how things can change. Because I guess I am very aware of what dysphoria can make you feel and what it can make you do, as I have a history of self-harm and other things, I guess. So I do understand how hard it can be, what it can make you want to do, what it can make you do and everything. So I'm just, I don't want people to hurt themselves, and I just want I guess I want other guys to be safe about this. And yeah, just keep open perspective. Also, goals help. Like at the moment I'm working on getting my name changed, coming out, even if it's to small groups of people at a time. It can do a lot for you. I went through a lull I came out to my parents in February, and then I had a lull, and at one stage I felt so stuck. And I realised the only reason I was stuck is because I was waiting for other people to get used to the fact that I'm trans. I was like, okay, it's cool to do that for people for a certain amount of time, but your transition is yours. And as much as it affects other people, it's still your transition. And you need to do it at your speed. Don't let other people set it for you. If it's going too fast, then take a step back. Take several steps back. Don't let other people set it for you. If you want to go for something and it's right there, grab it. But if you want to go for something that's not right there, then make the steps towards it, so that the progress of getting there, it helps with dysphoria. I mean, yeah, progress is important, and to get progress, goals help a lot. Yeah, you have projects and stuff like that. Like it helps a lot. So yeah, so dysphoria, it happens, and I guess for a lot of us it's always going to be there one way or another, but we learn to deal with it, and it can be dealt with. Sorry, it's getting late. So yeah, just, I don't know, mind yourselves, and if anybody needs to talk, I'm gonna leave links to all the places you can find me or find the other guys, because there's always bound to be one of us that will be around to talk. Or if I can't help with the problem, then I'm not gonna tell them who you are, but I can ask for advice for you or whatever. Or if you need to talk about any of the topics that I've discussed, be it binding, packing, soft packing, hard packing, anything, just give me a shout. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wind this up now, not bore you for too long. We don't have topic 7 set yet, but I will be back soon, I promise. And yeah, have a good one. See you.